So if you're like me and wanting to learn more about martial arts, you've probably been amazed at the power and flexibility martial artists have in their kicks. I'm pretty sure we've all tried to emulate Jackie Chan at least some point in our lives, and well, let's just say I don't have to guess how that went for you. Personally, I've just decided I'm on a quest to have kicks like Joe Rogan. That dude has some crazy power and precision. Plus, I'm kind of short and basically balding, so I just see him as a great role model. Unfortunately, I am held back in the flexibility department. I may be more flexible than the average Joe, no pun intended, but I've got a long way to go to unleash my full potential. Yes, I realize this sounds like an anime. Anyway, today we'll be going over a stretch routine from a fellow YouTuber, as well as some crucial facts and misconceptions when it comes to stretching and athletic performance. This is Shane, and you're watching Functional Fitness. Yes. So while browsing for a good stretching routine, I came across FightTIPS. It's a great channel run primarily by this studly guy who just so happens to also be named Shane. And sure, I may be a little biased, but I decided that was the program for me, so I'll be following that every other day for the next few weeks to see how effective it is. You start by warming up all the muscles involved that you can, as cold muscle fibers don't stretch well, and forcing them to is more likely to cause injury. Each exercise is done for 30 seconds, starting with deep squats. You want to make sure you're going past 90 degrees to really get those hamstrings in there. Really get those buns burning. Then move on to calf raises, lunges, hip rotations, which are pretty fun. Yeah, you'll get some weird looks, but that's probably the best part.
Bring it around town. Bring it around town.
Gate walks. And yes, gate walks, not gay walks. Sorry to disappoint. Gosh, it's almost 2019, guys. Grow up. And finally, you'll end on side lunges or sumo squats, which I forgot to do. So here's a FightTIPS Shane.
And if this is too challenging, if you feel like when you get to about this point you're already getting a stretch, then I want you to do other things like sumo squats. So you're going to go toes out and drop all the way down. Not as much of a stretch here, but you're still going to warm up the muscles.
Now that we're warm, it's onto the static stretches. Static meaning stationary, so you hold the stretch and don't move for 20 to 30 seconds. And this is tip number 1, and it's really crucial because stretching any less than that isn't actually effective in lengthening the muscle fibers, and holding it much longer can cause injury. So my whole life, I've been stretching and never saw much of an increase in flexibility because I only held them for about 12 seconds each. So we'll be doing each static stretch twice, held about 25 seconds each, with a 5 to 10 second rest in between. Starting with the hamstring stretch, then butterfly, straddle, with each leg and then reaching down in the middle, abs, and finally the lower back stretch. I think I've heard this called a Playboy, but that might just be made up. Alright, that's the end of the main routine, but I'm going to be doing it for the next 30 days every other day and doing a follow-up video showing my progress. So we'll see how effective it is in a short period of time, and maybe you'll want to pick up this program as well. I mean, I know if I see any progress, I'm totally going to incorporate this long term because I've always wanted to try doing that backflip to splits you see people do and just wonder how they don't just smash their balls on the floor. Yeah, I'm going to figure that out. It's happening. Life goals. Okay, but seriously, before you go, I've got 2 more super important tips when it comes to stretching. First tip, despite what everyone's probably told you up to this point, don't stretch before a performance, okay? The reason why is if you're doing a deep stretch, by lengthening those muscle fibers, you're actually making those muscles weaker for at least the next half hour and literally reducing strength by about 13%. So if you're going for a sprint and you stretch out your hamstrings first, you are handicapping yourself. So yeah, that's a no-no. Remember that. Number 3.
But I need to stretch first. It prevents injury.
Not so fast. Studies show that in most athletic activities, there's actually no correlation between stretching and injury prevention. That can change in activities that require an abnormal range of motion, but for the most part, it really doesn't make a difference. In fact, it's the people who either are very inflexible or super flexible that usually get injured, because in those activities something unexpected can happen and you're either pulling a muscle or going so far you're pulling a tendon. Moral of the story, stretch for flexibility at the end of workouts or say an off day, but not before you perform. Well, thanks guys. I sure hope that this helps you to incorporate stretching in the best way possible based on what you do athletically. If you like this video, please consider joining the Functional Fitness fam by... oh, that sounds so stupid. I mean, do what you want, man. Live your life. But if you want to show support, please subscribe and ring the bell. It really helps a lot. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next one, which I am starting an awesome Muay Thai class, so I'll do a little video covering some of the history of Muay Thai and why it rocks. We'll see me as a noob doing some training. But I also wanted to do a tutorial this month on something parkour related in free running, so if you want a parkour vault or a flip or trick tutorial, let me know. Just put it down in the comments. Thanks. Peace.
Like, how hard do you have to hit them though? Do a little pop. Like, alright, demonstrate it. Like,
Show you? Let me hit you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Take a double